They notice it before they respect you. Not your words, not your accomplishments, not your titles. They notice it in the way you occupy space, in the way you respond when tension rises, in the subtle alignment of your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Authority is rarely announced. It is seldom declared. It is observed. It emerges quietly, long before recognition or admiration. Many people assume authority comes from position, from power, from accolades or wealth. But psychology tells us otherwise. True authority is first recognized, not granted. It is felt before it is named. Before someone respects you, they notice how you manage yourself, how you hold composure under pressure, how your energy interacts with the environment, how predictable your presence is without being rigid. People unconsciously scan for these cues. Before they can respect your skill, they must first sense your stability. Before they can trust your judgment, they must first sense your calm. Before they can value your perspective, they must first sense your alignment. Alignment is internal coherence. It is the match between what you feel, what you think, and what you express. When alignment exists, uncertainty decreases. People can sense it without understanding why. It stabilizes interactions. It creates invisible boundaries. It communicates limits without confrontation. It signals that engagement with you is predictable, safe, and measured. Most people overlook this. They seek authority in performance, in intensity, in overt demonstration. But authority felt through internal coherence is far more persuasive. It does not depend on context. It travels with the individual. It survives change, chaos, and conflict. They notice it first in subtle behavior, in the calm response to an unexpected challenge, in measured speech during heated discussion, in deliberate restraint when provoked. They notice it in consistency, in the ability to act according to principle, not impulse, in the absence of reaction when a reaction is expected. This is often what separates respected individuals from those who are only feared or liked. People may fear someone loud. They may admire someone flashy. But respect emerges only when authority is sensed. And sensing authority begins with observing the self, the way you regulate emotion, the way you hold attention, the way you choose what to act upon and what to let pass. When you notice your internal state, you influence the external environment. They notice it in the way conversations unfold around you, in the way conflict diminishes when you enter the room, in the way others modulate their behavior, almost instinctively, in your presence. Authority is about shaping the field before acting within it. It is about presence, not performance. It is about the invisible architecture of interaction. Many attempt to demand authority. They assert dominance. They push to control. They seek immediate compliance. But true authority cannot be demanded. It can only be recognized. And recognition is earned through demonstration of internal stability, not external display. People notice when you respond with patience instead of haste, when you observe rather than interrupt, when you hold clarity without insistence, when your energy is neither aggressive nor passive but steady. This steadiness is contagious. It influences others subconsciously. It sets the tone without a word. It shifts dynamics without force. It draws attention not to you, but to the equilibrium you create. Authority is often mistaken for leadership. Leadership can be taught. Leadership can be appointed. Authority must be observed. It must be sensed. It is the silent gravity around which behavior orients. Those who achieve authority understand this distinction. They cultivate presence. They cultivate consistency. They cultivate patience. They cultivate alignment. All of these elements form the soil in which respect can grow. Before someone respects your ideas, they notice your composure. Before they respect your guidance, they notice your judgment. Before they respect your opinion, they notice your restraint. Restraint communicates confidence without boasting. It communicates knowledge without lecturing. It communicates influence without coercion. Those who recognize this understand the power of the unspoken, of the unseen, of the internally cultivated presence that shapes perception. Authority is first perceived through subtle cues, through posture, tone, rhythm, and gaze, through the energy you carry rather than the words you speak, through measured reactions rather than impulsive responses, through consistency rather than intensity. They notice it in how you treat time. The calm individual does not rush. They do not respond immediately to every stimulus. They evaluate. They observe. They allow events to unfold naturally before acting. This patience is rarely appreciated at first. It can appear slow or indifferent, but over time, it reveals competence, wisdom, and composure. People begin to sense that interaction with this person is reliable, that their energy is safe, that their responses are measured, that engagement is predictable, not because of constraint, but because of self-regulation. This recognition is the precursor to respect. Before respect, there is observation. Observation of consistency. Observation of alignment. Observation of composure. Observation of restraint. These are the signals people detect before admiration, before trust, before deference. Authority rooted in internal regulation cannot be disrupted by external chaos. It is not dependent on status, titles, or recognition. It is portable. It travels with the individual. It survives adversity. People notice how calmly someone walks into a tense room, how they hold themselves when conflict arises, how they listen before speaking, how they respond with clarity rather than reaction, how they maintain focus when everyone else is scattered. This is what creates quiet influence, influence that is subtle but deeply felt, influence that shapes thought, behavior, and perception without coercion. It is authority in its most durable form. Many mistake authority for control over others. True authority requires control over self first. When you master your own energy, your responses, your focus, and your composure, authority follows. Without effort, without assertion, without claim. It emerges naturally from the congruence between internal state and external behavior. Those who sense this unconsciously align with it. They defer. They listen. They adapt. Not out of fear, not out of obligation, but because the environment has shifted. The presence of a regulated mind transforms the dynamics around it. It sets boundaries without confrontation. It inspires compliance without instruction. It signals reliability without promise. The calm individual becomes a reference point, an anchor, a center of gravity. Others measure interactions against them. They pause before speaking. They weigh their words. They anticipate responses. They adjust behavior subconsciously. This is authority observed before respect. It is subtle, it is quiet, it is invisible until tested, and when tested, it persists. It does not bend under pressure. It does not break under criticism. It does not fluctuate with emotion. It remains stable. They notice this stability first, then they notice competence, then they notice integrity, then respect forms. Authority precedes respect, but it is invisible to those who expect loudness, intensity, or demonstration. It is observed in calmness under pressure. It is recognized in measured reaction. It is acknowledged in deliberate restraint. It is understood in alignment between thought, feeling, and action. This form of authority is durable because it is internal. It is not dependent on circumstance. It is not swayed by opinion. It is self-contained, self-reinforcing, self-sustaining. And those who notice it first are the ones who will later show respect. Because respect cannot exist without recognition of authority. And recognition cannot exist without observation of stability, without composure, without alignment, without deliberate self-regulation. This is the essence of influence that lasts. It is quiet, it is persistent, it is authoritative, it is human, it is felt before it is named, it is noticed before it is respected. It shapes interactions, dynamics, and perception. It endures long after performance fades, titles are forgotten, and noise subsides. It is a force that is subtle, profound, and inevitable. And it begins within the way you manage yourself, within the way you respond to the world, within the alignment of your inner state with your outward expression. They notice this first, and only then does respect follow.